Before the season began, JJ Redick singled out D'Angelo Russell as the player that he had connected with the most, and he was expected to be a key contributor for the Lakers this year. Redick even predicted that Russell would have a career-best year. Yet, despite those high hopes, Russell has come up well short and has been plagued by his own inconsistencies. Averaging just 12.4 points on 41.5% shooting, it's clear that Russell is capable of so much more than these numbers, because they don't even come close to reflecting his true potential. D'Angelo Russell's poor fit on this team, combined with his underwhelming performance this season, were problems that the Lakers could no longer afford to ignore, especially with LeBron James nearing the end of his career.
I don't know. I'm not going to play that much longer, to be completely honest. I don't know how many years that it is, if it's 1 year or 2 years, or whatever the case may be, but I'm not. I said the other night, I'm not playing till the wheels fall off. I'm not going to be that guy.
As we all know, when LeBron James is in Los Angeles, for better or for worse, there is no rebuilding. Russell's performances have been so sporadic this year that at one point this season, he actually made JJ Redick start crashing out on the bench. Unfortunately, this level of inconsistency, which often frustrates coaches, has become all too familiar with D'Angelo Russell.
Public humiliation has done nothing but molded me into the killer that y'all see today.
One moment, he's dropping 44 points, matching Damian Lillard shot for shot, and confidently discussing how public criticism has fueled his transformation into a killer. The next, a former coach of his is publicly saying, "What did you expect me to do? This guy was so bad that I had to bench him because he was constantly crapping the bed." With the Los Angeles Lakers opting to move on from the D'Angelo Russell experience, we have to talk about what this means for them, the Brooklyn Nets, and D'Angelo Russell, whose career is now facing more uncertainty than ever. But before we continue, become that same beast that we know that D'Lo can become, and subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you are enjoying the content. Now, a word from today's sponsor. Alright, let's be real. The New Orleans Pelicans are struggling this season. We're not even halfway through, and I'm already questioning if we have a shot at even the play-in tournament. Losing game after game isn't easy, but it's a lot more bearable when I have Underdog to make things more fun. Tonight, I'm going to be watching the game and making a few picks. I'll be selecting DeJounte Murray to go higher on his points, rebounds, and assists. I'm also going to be selecting Trey Murphy to go higher on his points. He's having a breakout campaign, which I definitely think is going to continue. Finally, I'm expecting James Harden to go higher than his projected assists. We're talking about one of the best passers in the league here. If you guys haven't signed up for Underdog yet, use my code COOP to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash, plus a free pick to get you started. It's also a great way to support the channel, so don't miss out. Join me on Underdog and make even the worst games a lot more exciting. Thank you, Underdog, for the sponsor. In a move that Lakers fans will certainly feel mixed emotions about, the Los Angeles Lakers made the necessary call, executing a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. In exchange for Shake Milton and Dorian Finney-Smith, the Lakers sent out 3 second-round picks, second-year player Maxwell Lewis, and D'Angelo Russell. Honestly, just speaking from an emotional standpoint, I'd imagine that this trade has to be hard on D'Angelo Russell. It's clear that LA meant so much to him and that he genuinely saw this city as a potential home. That makes this whole situation even harder to watch. I've been following D'Angelo Russell for quite a while now, and throughout his career, he's made it known that all he's ever wanted is a place where he can truly settle in, unpack his bags, and feel like he belongs. If I were an NBA player, I'd definitely want the same thing. After a while, that constant back and forth, being moved around from team to team, all of that has to get exhausting. Just think about it. This was a guy who was drafted number 2 overall by the Lakers back in 2015, then traded to the Nets, then the Warriors, then the Timberwolves, back to the Lakers, and now back to the Nets again. It's like a never-ending cycle, and you can't really help but feel bad for him. Finding a true home in the NBA can be incredibly difficult, but it shouldn't be when you're as talented as D'Angelo Russell. Some of it is his fault though. Putting emotions aside and looking at this from a pure basketball perspective, this trade could actually be a huge turning point for his career, and it's clear that he recognizes that, which is why we're hearing reports that he's genuinely excited for his new opportunity wherever it may be. Sometimes, a different situation is exactly what a player needs to thrive, and a different situation is exactly what he's getting. Now, wherever that situation will be remains to be seen. There have been rumors that he doesn't want the buyout, but I've also seen people say that he's a prime buyout candidate. Sean Marks thinks that he's really slick, but he can't fool me as I'm familiar with his game. After all of this, if D'Angelo Russell were to eventually land on a struggling or tanking team like where he's at, that gave him the freedom to play his style of basketball, he could have a career resurgence, much like Dennis Schroeder did, boosting his value ahead of free agency. However, if he were to end up on a contender that didn't guarantee a major role and he struggled with that adjustment, we could continue to see his career spiral downwards. For the Lakers being a decent team, they gave D'Angelo Russell a lot of chances. With little to nothing being invested in him, there's no chance that another decent team gives him as many chances as the Lakers did. Wherever he goes next, he's going to have to be on point. So let's talk about what the Lakers received in this trade, and let's give a round of applause to Rob Pelinka for finally making a move. I guess that Pelinka was entirely serious when he said that it would take him 30 games or so to properly evaluate what his team had this season. It shouldn't have taken him 30 games to figure out that this team needed more two-way players, but as I always say, it's better late than never. I really think it just took him 30 games to see if this roster was worth investing in, but hey, that's just me. So JJ Redick was an avid fan of DFS before he became a coach, and it's easy to see why.
The one guy, you know, I just got to shout out because I love watching him play, and I've played against him now for a few years, and he does so many things that just don't show up in a box score, and that's Dorian Finney-Smith, or as he's affectionately known as Dodo. But you know, Dodo is he's just an awesome player, and he's a player that can fit on any team in the NBA. I think he's incredibly valuable.
Dorian Finney-Smith fits the bill of being a two-way player. Offensively, he isn't much of a creator, he's much more of a role player on that end, but he's one that plays their role beautifully. He's a high IQ player who spaces the floor well and waits for his opportunity to punish a defense. This season, he's been lights out from beyond the arc, hitting 43.5% of his three-point attempts, including 43.3% of his catch and shoot opportunities. These shooting numbers are especially impressive considering that he achieved them without the support of any superstars like LeBron James or Anthony Davis on his team. Now, he joins a Lakers squad where opposing defenses have often dared role players to beat them from deep, a challenge that Dorian Finney-Smith is more than capable of answering. Defensively, Dorian Finney-Smith is a versatile 6'7" wing that has the length and tenacity to make a significant impact. He's really strong at guarding opposing wings, but is also comfortable guarding up or down. His skill set should complement Max Christie perfectly. While Christie offers quickness and the ability to match up with faster guards, Finney-Smith provides the size and defensive presence needed to handle the more physical matchups. This duo, with Anthony Davis patrolling the paint behind them, has the potential to completely disrupt opposing offenses. While Reeves and Braun will also contribute on that side of the ball, they can ultimately focus on what they do best. The Lakers lost some shot creation with D'Angelo Russell, but they regained a portion of that shot creation by getting Shake Milton. Standing at 6'5", Shake Milton is a point guard with a scoring touch. His best season came in his third year with Philadelphia, where he would average 13 points per game on an efficient 45% shooting. Having a player that's capable of producing numbers like that coming off of your bench, yeah, that's not too bad. It's pretty remarkable that the Lakers were able to acquire all of this for essentially just 3 second-round picks and D'Angelo Russell. Mind you that the Grizzlies were also reportedly pursuing DFS themselves. According to Mike Scotto, before the Brooklyn Nets traded DFS to the Lakers, the Memphis Grizzlies had offered a top 15 protected 2025 first-round pick, Luke Kennard, and John Concar in exchange for DFS, along with second-round considerations. Just look at the standings. The Memphis Grizzlies are currently one of the top teams in the West. That pick was going to convey this year. It was just going to be very late, but it was still going to convey. I mean, that's not the worst offer in the world. Again, props to Pelinka for feeling comfortable in his negotiations and not going overboard like he has before. This trade has me feeling like this right now towards Pelinka.
Christian, this Shaq, I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game and, you know, how you travel.
Man, you're a casual.
And, you know, played, 16, so I want to say I'm proud of you.
A Vanderbilt return should be on the horizon, and the Lakers have been 7-2 since moving Max Christie to the starting lineup, and they just got better, which a full breakdown on him will be coming soon, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss it. I can't believe that I'm saying this, guys, but I am excited for the Los Angeles Lakers. All eyes now turn to Pelinka getting a serviceable big. Let's see what he does there. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts on this whole debacle. Anyways, guys, there's some more going on in the basketball world that I need to be covering, so clicking the video on the screen right now and using code COOP for Underdog are both great ways to support this channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.